And tonight on our Great American panel, she is a Democratic strategist whose clients include Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, Terry McAuliffe, and she's currently a senior vice president at Navigators Global. Terry Cephalus is here. He's the former executive director of the Republican Party of Texas. Pollster Chris Wilson is with us. She is an actress. We all know her, and she's currently starring in the brand new web series My Two Fans, which launches, by the way, this Monday at www.mytwofans.com. Barrett Swatik is with us. And guys, welcome all. Look, we've talked a lot this week about Rush Limbaugh. There is a new controversy that just broke in this evening. AP, on his radio show this afternoon, Rush, according to the reading from the AP, said that Barack Obama's proposed health revisions were championed by the liberal lion Ted Kennedy. First thing he said. Before it's all over, it will be called the Ted Kennedy Memorial Health Care Bill. Brian Wolf, the executive director of the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, has called this remark outrageous and reprehensible. Tracy, you represent these Democrats. Do you agree with that?
I do, completely. That's an abhorrent statement, and I think Rush knows it.
It's abhorrent and reprehensible.
I believe so. To speak poor of someone who is bravely battling a critical illness, there's no place for that.
Well, let me just pull up here. This is a headline I have. This is January this year, 2009. Headline: Senate Lion Ted Kennedy once more for national health care. In this article, they call him the Lion of the Senate, just like Rush did. Senator Bingaman said, well, he's devoted his life to it, and he wants the bill named after him for Rush. Adam Clymer, a biographer, says he doesn't have much time left. This may impact his colleagues because he doesn't have much time left. The Center for American Progress, John Podesta, they quote Ella Marie Whalen, we don't know what his long-term prognosis is. It creates another reason to do this sooner than later. So all Rush did was repeat what Democrats did. Do you say, wait a minute, do you say the same thing about your fellow Democrats?
I think in repeating all of those comments, the context of that is appropriate. What Rush is saying is not. He's putting a spin and adding a nasty veneer to it.
There's no spin. All he did was repeat what Democrats said and what they're going to do. And this is very interesting to me because all week long we've heard about Rush and how evil conservatives are, Barrett. This is what the media and Democrats do. I give the exact same words of Democrats. Rush says it's bad. Democrats say it's okay.
Yeah, I think they need to lay off Rush. I mean, you know, he's done this for years. This is what he does. Everyone knows it. Just lay off him, and he's a good guy. And actually, I hear that he and Ted Kennedy are reconciling right now. They're actually, I believe they're off at Sean Puffy's private home reconciling.
Right?
Yeah, and we're going to see what happens.
Do you think this effort, though, what we just see here, if Rush says it, what the Democrats are going to do, and he reads a news story, look at the reaction. That is reprehensible.
It may have been in poor taste at the time. I think I'd have to hear the context, but I'd say it pales in comparison to some of the comments made by Al Franken, potentially the new senator from Minnesota, during his time on the radio. And if we're going to start calling for resignations or apologies or just calling people to task for any time something distasteful is made, I mean, how much time can we spend on Franken?
Well, I just find it amazing that, you know, Democrats can say it's fine. Rush says it, terrible. 64% of Americans, according to Quinnipiac poll, think that Obama's mortgage bill is unfair to people who pay their mortgage. You're a Democrat. You support the Obama economic plan. Why should people that pay their mortgage on time have to pay the mortgages of people that bought homes they couldn't afford? Can you explain that to them?
Well, I think you may be putting two different things in that sentence, because if I read that poll right, what Americans were saying is that they were concerned about those homeowners who didn't pay their mortgages on time. And when you look at that, why is it that someone wouldn't pay their mortgage on time? And all sorts of variables come into play. A home value has been lost. Someone's job may have been lost as well. All sorts of external factors come into play. But so what this gets to...
The taxpayers are going to now be on the hook to pay all of this. Why should people that got homes and mortgages they couldn't afford, why should they have to pay for the mortgages of people that didn't?
Well, I think what it's done is it shows Obama's mastery of staying popular while he gets on the wrong side of issues. I mean, this is an issue that 2/3 of Americans are upset about. Same with the auto bailouts, same with the recent bank bailouts. He is continuing to do this where he is able to take a position that Americans disagree with, and sooner or later it's going to start to rub off on his popularity. We've seen it already impacting with Republicans. Independents are next, and you're going to see soft Democrats. And what it's going to do is it's going to put Democrats in a very difficult position going into the 2010 elections.
There's one thing, Barrett, you know, we mentioned this in an earlier segment tonight, and that is that, you know, we're now getting to the point where 50% of Americans don't have any tax liability at all. You have an electorate out there that says, what do we care what taxes are raised on people, considering we don't have to pay?
Right.
Does that have an impact on future elections?
I think it has an impact on future elections. I think Americans, at the end of the day, you know, we're a generous country. We want to help people, but we're also about fair play. And I think that at the end of the day, people who pay their mortgage on time, they want it to be fair. They don't, you know, they're doing the right thing, and to be able and to have to help out a bunch of people who are just all of a sudden can't pay is not fair.
When did we get away from being a responsibility society?
Yeah.
You know, that we're responsible for our own behavior, our own choices in life, and that if you make a bad choice or a series of bad choices, that you don't bear the responsibility of that.
This topic really, it interested me, and I wanted to go back and look carefully at what was in the president's plan. And I was heartened, and I expect that most Americans would be heartened to know that there's nothing in the plan that does help the irresponsible buyer, the unscrupulous lender. That's not what this bill is about, and I think that Americans will appreciate that.
What the bill is about bankrupting our country and stealing from our children and grandchildren, because it's unsustainable. If we confiscated the wealth of everyone making 75 grand a year, we couldn't pay for this combined monstrosity. Can't pay for it. Money's not there. All right, I see you're chomping. We'll get back to you in a second. Time now to check in with Greta Van Susteren. And we continue now with our Great American panel. All right, we've been following the story of Octomom. Eight kids. She had 6 other kids, 3-bedroom house, no job, no husband. Well, we've got a 9/11 call where she threatened to kill herself after her son disappeared. Let's roll the tape.
911 emergency. Help me. Hi, what's going on? Help me. My son is missing. Okay. I'm going crazy. What address are you? Crazy. Okay, you're going to have to calm down. What address are you at? Where's my son? Where's my son? Where's my son? Oh, God, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, God, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, God. I'm going to kill myself. Oh, God. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. Oh. Hey, don't say that in front of your other child, okay?
She says 10 times, I'm going to kill myself. She's got 6 kids, 8 more, no money, no job, no husband, lives in a 3-bedroom home. Should the kids go home with this mother?
Ugh, I don't know. I don't want to say because she is their mom, you know. And I don't know, but I do know that there's a 911 call actually that you didn't hear about, and it was from her sperm donor saying he wanted to kill himself.
Oh, gee, all right. You planned that all day. Good. What do you think?
I think it's a prime case for a government bailout. I mean, she made a bad decision, resulted in massive costs. I mean, Barack Obama should step in here. At this point, this is where all the money's going to go. We're putting the bailouts anywhere, into diapers, and what's going to end up in diapers. I mean, that's what's going to happen with the money we're giving to the banks and the auto industry. So I want to see.
We need an Octomom bailout.
Absolutely.
Should she lose the kids?
Sean, can we talk about Rush instead?
Well, you didn't do so well in that segment, so if you want to move back to it. But, all right, well, let's move on. Bill Ayers, who was a topic of mine, that's when Obama attacked me often when I was bringing up Ayers and Jeremiah Wright, which I think showed his radical side. Here you got Ayers and Ward Churchill appearing together. Ayers said that Churchill became a victim of a witch hunt after calling the 9/11 victims little Eichmanns. Why would Barack Obama have hung out with Bill Ayers, give speeches with him, sat on boards with him? You're a big Barack Obama supporter. Was that poor judgment?
This feels stale to me. I think the president has made clear his tenuous connection to Ayers. He's distanced himself from everything.
He distanced himself when he ran for president. He didn't distance himself until he ran for president.
Who wants to talk about this again?
Well, I do. I actually think it's a sign of judgment. We're seeing a radical agenda unfold, and I think the signs and symptoms were there that were ignored by the country.
Well, they are, and I think, you know, there's only a few places in America this could happen anymore, and they're all, unfortunately, on college campuses. But Obama was tied to this at one point. Bill Ayers is who he is, and we've always known that Churchill was a fan of terrorists. Now he's just out there proving it. But I'll tell you who should be outraged about this going to the next step is any alumnus of the University of Colorado. That's for them to invite him in, pay for his security to come and speak to them. It is. It's an outrage.
Yeah. Barrett?
Well, I do think Bill Ayers is a scary guy. I mean, I remember watching the Weather Underground documentary, and it was frightening to me. So he is a scary dude. You're going to get mad at me for saying this, but I do have a Hollywood inside scoop, and I think they're going to actually make a full-length feature, a buddy comedy between Bill Ayers and Ward Churchill.
And,
yeah, Ari Emanuel is going to package it, and this is super awkward for me to tell you, but I think that they've asked me to be the love interest of Bill Ayers.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're going to be Bernadine Dorn?
Yeah.
I don't see the resemblance, but I could see it
They
happening.
can do so many things with makeup these days.
Yeah, I bet they can. That could happen.
All right, I'm done with my jokes.
No, that was good. All right, President Obama and the teleprompter. Does he have to take? Does he sleep with it? Does he have to take it to every speech? I mean, is he incapable of speaking without that teleprompter? And he's the only president that uses it for everything.
He's certainly not incapable of speaking with it. His presidency is how many days old, and we know that he can speak without the teleprompter.
When? He always has it.
And the thing that's
when is
also,
he giving a speech without it?
You know, he's good with the teleprompter.
Yeah, he's good, so why not?
Those other guys, not so good with it.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to go back to the comparisons.
Guys, good to see you. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Coming up next.